For the nation, by the nation. Islam Alive Radio.
امسك وانا حاعمل اعمال، ده اسمه كلام بالذمة. ليه انت دماغك وحشة درمود التلفزيون؟ طب خد، لا يا زميلي ما باخدش، خد تجري وما تتنحش، خد ما تفوى صاحبي، خد ريموت التلفزيون.
Assalamu alaikum listeners. Today is Saturday, 17th of February 2024. The time is 3 p.m. South African time. I'm your host, Ashka Regal, reporting from Cape Town, South Africa, and this is the show Liberation Education. Today is also the annual JEQ Family Market, and it takes place today from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. At 13th Avenue, Skarpskraal. There will be rides and stalls, and also a live performance, a nasheed performance from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Shukran for being tuned to Islam Alive Radio. Remember, you may check us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can like, share, and subscribe. For any queries, email us on islamaliveradio@gmail.com or send us a WhatsApp on +27 81 217 6012. That's +27 81 217 6012. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by any guest or presenter of Islam Alive Radio are not necessarily the views of Islam Alive Radio. Previously, on the other 6 chapters that we have done on liberation education, myself and my co-host Zeenat Ali, we spoke on Islamophobia worldwide, Muslim women representation. We had a guest, Fozia Abrams, speaking on her organization Women Within Network. We spoke on indigenous struggles and what that entailed, as well as Zaid Ahmed, who spoke on Youth for Humanity. Finally, last week we had Aisha Hamdulay, the Visibility and Communications Coordinator at Frontline Defenders. And I love how she spoke about herself being a poet and a photographer last week, and how we can integrate creativity and the arts into social justice projects. She spoke about her counter-narrative to colorism, using photography, using the arts to raise awareness for different political issues. And that brings me to today's question: what would this look like in our own communities, in our own South Africa, using art for social and political change? And this question was answered to me through the research and presence of Zeenat Isaacs. She's the founder of S.M.art Project, which is supporting mentorship through art in the areas of Mitchell's Plain, and she's nominated for the DearSA Young Leader Awards in sports, culture, and environment category. Zeenat, I'm very happy that you are here with me. How are you feeling? How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, listeners. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I'm excited to be on the show. Very excited. Excited about everything.
I'm excited for you to be here. Yesterday, I read an article, 16th of February, an article was released on the Daily Voice from Marsha Dean. Plain Vrou is up for Philanthropy Award and it spoke about you and your philanthropy work in your community and impoverished areas to design and encourage, your valuable contributions as a young person in South Africa. And before I get into your projects, and the contributions that earned you this nominee title for this honorable award, I want to know a bit more about you directly. So Zeenat, tell us a bit about yourself, the background, where you're from, and overall your passion, just who you are.
Okay, sure. Where do I start? So yes, I am, I'd like to call myself an igniter. When I say uplifter, it's uplifting people's lives specifically, or communities at large in a whole. Impactor, leaving a specific impact, and it all depends on which project I'm doing, because there's various projects I run within my organization, and Empowerer. So Empowerer, leaving people different to compared to how I met them, obviously in a positive way. So making that positive change in each one's lives that I've touched, empowering them for the better. I'm also a project manager all around with the different projects I run, or if I'm working for a governmental sphere or a different organization, that's what I do. I'm a production manager and health worker in film. Yeah, I'm known for, changing people's lives, basically. Last year, 2023, I met my target, my personal goal setting target of 10,000. And I created a new goal setting this year of 100,000. So yeah, let's see what happens there. So that's basically the gist of who I am. I'm also an artist and a coach and mentor to many people as well. When I say many people, we're talking in the range of thousands. So that's who I am. Hope I answered your question.
That is amazing. 10,000, that's a lot of souls that you have touched. And I remember saying your passion is your people, and I can see through you and the work that you do. You worked at the Desmond Tutu Health Foundation as well, from 2017. And yeah, I just wanted to know, what did you do there? What does your job entail on that sphere of your life?
So Desmond Tutu, sure, what a beautiful, wonderful organization they are. I was what we call a CLO, a community liaison. So obviously I was trained to go into communities back then. And when I say trained, it's formally and educationally trained as well. With Desmond Tutu, I was also a lead facilitator on projects. And then also what I like to call an igniter. So when I say igniter, it means somebody who can spark a flame. So that's what I was over there. And I feel that I've learned a lot working with them, and I had the pleasure of dealing with not only various communities around South Africa, but also and being introduced to do so for my future work, and for the work that I was doing while I was working there as well. But also just in a sense like learning for me, it's not only educationally, you study, you get your degree or your certificate, your diploma. It's not just that, it's having the hands-on experience, walking in the shoes with the professors that work there. The founder of that organization is Linda Becker, and she's done amazing research and work. I've met everyone from those who created a cure for Ebola, the current Deputy Dean of Health Sciences at UCT, Professor Tracy Naledi, and I've walked with them, I've sat with them, I've discussed with them, I've learned from them, Dr. Nadia Ahmed, etc. We've all sat and we've stormed together, and they're part and parcel of making me the person I've become today. So yeah, that's a little bit about Desmond Tutu. The outreach, they still impact in all the communities I work in as well. And like I said, an absolutely fabulous organization to work for.
Brilliant. The fact that you've been in this space with these people in the health sciences, and you sat with them, you've worked with them as an igniter that sparks this flame. And it reminds me of candle, giving the fire to other mini candles for them to also have an opportunity to light up. You also mentioned UCT and the dean at the health sciences. You studied at UCT, and what were your studies? How do you think they applied to your work and what you do now?
So specifically over there, besides, getting accredited for GCP and HSP, I specifically got trained and accredited to work in communities. So a lot of people work in communities, but there's certain protocol that you have to have in order to truly leave an impact, I feel. And then you also have to have this educational background, where as you understand the demographics of the community, the people and what the challenges they're facing, etc. And I felt that my qualifications over there truly did help for what I intend on doing in the future, what I've done in the past. past and what I'm currently doing. So that's a little more about UCT, and just also an awesome place to study. So I felt like each day was a blessing being there. No, not downing any other university. I've also studied at UWC, Boston City Campus and Business College. So big ups to all of them.
I agree. As someone who studied at UCT, I do agree with you. It's a great space and great people to be around. And yes, you also mentioned, I believe, you studied or you've been in the arts field at UCT as well. So give us a detailed description of art, what the S.M.art Project is, what it stands for, and when it started.
Okay, so S.M.art stands for Supporting Mentorship Through Art. S.M.art is actually a name that just stuck because we initially, my team and myself, my starting team and myself, we came up with the name. We were first called Street Smart because we worked in impoverished communities. It's sort of seen as in the streets. So we had pop-up events, etc. I'll tell you a little more about that later, but it started off as Street Smart, and we've done murals in the open, in the streets, etc. And so that's how it started. Then we made it clear it's supporting mentorship through art, because we provide that for our people, mentorship. And then, because of it being an acronym, it's smart. It just stuck, and it was easier for people to pronounce, etc. So, yeah, that's how the name came about. We started in 2016, actually. That was while I was studying and working. It's something that we do on weekends. So we'd have a day, we'd have a seasonal event. That's how we started, and then we just continued on, and we're still continuing on, alhamdulillah, till now.
That's a great name to keep stuck in your head. Smartest. It's a great ring. It has a great ring to it.
So smart. I came up with regards to all the artists on board. So we have various artists on board. Sure, our creatives all are called smartest. And any, person who volunteered or partakes with us, we dub the smartest. So if you just put into social media and your hashtag smartest, you'll see every bit of everything that pops up. We're not really that active with regards to, your TikTok, your everything else. And I find that is because we do the actual work on the field. So when media does come and they pop it down and they cover us, it's usually TV and radio, or, somebody that's doing the write-up, etc. But as far as us posting up, we try to do so as much as possible. We still have old archives of things we've done that we never even got a chance to post up because, our team, a lot of our team members double up in a lot of different roles, and it's just hectic sometimes because there's not a day that passes by where we aren't doing anything. So, so that's how it's going outside currently.
I do notice that the many articles that are left up, or the radio shows, or that's why I had a lot of research to look out for because of these articles, and to just have that social media impact as well would be amazing for youth to also be involved with too. But how did this project come about? What was your motivation to kickstart it?
So my motivation came about, seeing the struggles while I was studying. Firstly, I was born in an area called Lentegeur in Mitchells Plain, and we were, growing up as kids. There was bullets flying. We actually went back to go and do some murals on the fields I used to play on, and we had to lie flat on the ground most of the time because bullets were flying over our heads. There was gang violence, there's drugs, and these things happened, as normal, and it's still happening up till today. So because of me having that background and growing up that way, I basically, I had it in me to help my mom. She is a teacher. She's been teaching for almost 60 years. My dad was, the head of the cutting room in factories. So I'm not sure which factory it's called, the Rainbow. It was called Rainbow, Rex through form, which is the typical jobs most people were provided with in that time. My mom went the extra mile to, get education and drilled it into myself and my siblings. So that's where it came about. Like from when I was a little girl, I always wanted to do something different, something that suited me, but also something that could make a difference in everyone's lives daily. Because you witness that and you grow up with that, and you try to make something of yourself, study further, and do better. But not everybody is fortunate. And not everybody has the same circumstances, so it's difficult. And because of people's backgrounds, and I met people on a daily as I was growing up, and wherever I studied, wherever I worked, and I knew I had to make some sort of difference, because by helping others, you don't only help others, you help yourself. And when you help one person and you got them to a point in their lives, they in turn help so many other people. So when you help one person, for example, if you feed or you hand over a food package to one person, that person has a family, and that person can in turn do better. The same with if you're handing over a scholarship or a bursary or building someone's life. And then my love for art. So it's always been there, the arts, I'm going to say, not art specifically. It's always been there. I have loved all forms of art growing up. I think I was very unique compared to my other siblings. It must have been annoying for everyone, but I was very, very much a go-getter. I liked, going out there. I like painting. I never used the mediums I'm using now. I'll tell you a little bit more about how that came about. But yeah, so I've been into dance, poetry. I've started acting. I was on TV very young, etc. So that was me. Yeah, so I was always just, the one that was very out there compared to my three other siblings. So I think that is also part and parcel why I started. The co-founder, Reza Potgieter, he's been a long-time friend of mine. That was for many years. I can remember on high school, but we weren't that close, etc. Then it came to university time, and we started to chat a little more, get a little more close. And he is what people deem to be a master artist. So obviously, my background and his background merged, and that's what ignited everything to start in the first place. So with regards to S.M.art, so we've been doing things bit by bit, and then we just started full force, concentrating and going into it. And yeah, that's when S.M.art was born, I would say. And we'd have many people on board, volunteering these skills, etc. People came, people went, people are still present and ongoing, and they support, etc. But yeah, that's how it is. And so that's how it all started.
That's amazing how you spoke about your background and how you wanted to make a difference but alongside where you grew up and impacting other people's lives so that they can impact and make an impact as well. And it's very inspiring what you and Reza have been doing. And yeah, definitely I would like to speak more on this, but before we do that, we'll be taking a short break. After the break, we will be continuing with Liberation Education, Chapter 7.
Southern Hill Gas and Hardware. If you'd like to purchase any size gas tank or even refill your gas tank, needing any screw or hammer and some sort of building equipment, visit Southern Hill Gas and Hardware in Southern Hill Drive, Lavender Hill. S.M.art Radio is sponsored by Southern Hill Gas and Hardware, Cape Town, South Africa.
وعيونها يا طيري وتقولي فنجاني تنمي القهوة ميمتلية. وعيونها يا طيري وتقولي فنجاني تنمي القهوة ميمتلية. يا عيونك سود وحلوة، يا عيونك سود وحلوة، يا عيونك يا عيونك يا
تحمل فيها الغيم يا غيمة على الموارث معتلية يا عيونك سود وحلوة يا عيونك سود وحلوة يا عيوني يا عيوني وعيونها يا طيري وتقولي فنجان فنجاني تنمي القهوة ميمتلية وعيونها يا طيري وتقولي فنجان فنجاني تنمي القهوة ميمتلية يا عيونك سود وحلوة يا عيونك سود وحلوة يا عيونك يا عيونك يا عيونك
Greetings from Islam Alive Radio. The time now is 3:23 p.m. South Africa time. I am Aisha Hamdulay, your host for Liberation Education, with our guest Zeenat Isaacs. And we are continuing with our questions to Zeenat on her project. Zeenat, you spoke about what the S.M.art Project, and I want to know what do you do, where is it based, and what are you most proud of from facilitating this project?
Okay, so what is it that we do? With S.M.art, it's quite a wide range. I mean, we initially started with emergency services. We feed the needy daily. We like to rotate in our feedings. I won't talk too long about that, but it's basically just being fair and making sure that everyone on our database does receive, what they're supposed to. So it's a basic food package. It's usually monthly or every second month, and a toiletry package for each person on our database. And then besides that, we also do various interactive workshops. When I say interactive, masterclasses, etc., with regards to the different forms of art. So when I say the different forms of art, we have literature, we do have poetry, we have a bit of filmmaking, there's some photography in there, we have dance, and our speciality, which is, we're extremely passionate about the mural arts and arts, visual arts in whole. So yeah, all of this, the business side to it, I forgot to mention crafts. I shouldn't forget to mention crafts. Our crafts it's been beautiful, really. Doing the workshops with everyone, and then them in turn teaching in the communities, and it's the same all around with each form of art. So that's basically what we do. It's these workshops. We also go into communities, like I said, murals. Besides that, we do health awareness, demos with regards to how to keep yourself safe. It's yoga, it's after school programs. So yeah, we're quite busy. I probably didn't mention it just all of it right now, but those are some of the projects that we do. Your second part of the question, if you can refresh my memory.
Oh, I asked where you are based and what you are most proud of.
Okay, so we have different bases all around Cape Town, and in Vredendal, it's a rural area. So yeah, and we like to come out. Our main base would obviously be in Mitchell's Plain. I spoke a little bit about my past, and we obviously have a soft spot for Mitchell's Plain. When I say soft spot, I feel the need in Mitchell's Plain is so great, and it's become a forgotten area for quite some time. So I just feel there's a lot to be done in Mitchell's Plain, and it's so beautiful, and the people living in Mitchell's Plain is also so beautiful. But if you Google Mitchell's Plain, what pops up? It's obviously known for its gangs, gangsterism, violence, and drugs. And that's not all of Mitchell's Plain. There's so much more to it. So what we do is beautify and transform the communities in Mitchell's Plain. We take it a step further. And so we try to do that in all the other areas that we work in as well. If there's a need, for example, Joe Slovo or all the other rural areas in and surrounding in Vredendal, then we go out and we do it over there as well. So that's basically our comfort zone with regards to where we are based. What am I most passionate about? Sure. Everything. But mainly, I don't see a lot of people that have organizations, and it's completely normal in one way, where people see people as numbers. So large amounts of numbers that I've worked with, yes, I'll mention the amount and the record that I've kept. That's my own personal record. But I see each one as an individual. Each person is, a human being with feelings and every person that's been part of our organization or has been touched by us, they can truly say that a difference has been left in their lives. They are better before compared to when they arrived and have met us. And that I am most proud of. So to make a difference, whether it be, something as simple as feeding. You don't know how far that goes with a family, because if you're hungry, you can't learn. To make a difference in somebody's life with regards to education, attaching them to different things. Like, for example, a lot of our people have left to France and USA to go and study further and actually live in France and USA. They're missed, but I'm proud to look back on their lives and say, sure, I was part and parcel of doing that with, obviously being granted to do so by our creator. And that for me, that is beautiful. It's just, it gets my eyes light up when I see something like that happen. And I can't fathom the thought of me not touching someone's life properly, and leaving them, not better off than they were before. So yeah, that's what I'm most happy about doing what I do.
Yes, this idea of, pride of leaving a legacy and touching people's lives is just part and parcel of our empowerment talks. Empowerment, you even said, to me, is the process by which I enable people to gain control over their decisions and factors that shape their lives. And yeah, I think you've spoken it already, but in further, how you think SMART achieves this, and you mentioned education, and I'm also going to add on to the empowerment of art, just all that together, how SMART, this project, would achieve this.
Okay, so the sessions and workshops that we do run, we also have different programs that we run, and these are accredited as well. So there's part that is accredited, and then there's part that builds them up to run, their own business, etc. And then part and parcel of what we do is, like I said, that's my specific part. I like to look at each one and note that everybody's not on the same page, right? So empowerment to me being the process, it's people are faced with different challenges in daily life, and people sweep it under the rug, and everyone deals with their challenges in different ways. And some of these ways are unsavory. So to get somebody at a point where they're dealing in a way of, with mental health, etc., or they're dealing with other psychosocial issues, it's more difficult for them to achieve compared to somebody that's not. So when I say dealing with people that way and empowering them, it's truly to make the difference in their lives, to leave them empowered so that they can make their own decisions, that they can go forth and that they can actually complete what is presented to them and make a change in their lives. So yeah.
Yes, that is amazing, because I also read that you have employed like 210 people, your smartest, and you had many workshops that, empowered these people. I want to mention when you brought up psychosocial issues, which leads me to the next question on my research in the People's Post. In 2023, there was an article by Avril Phillies, and it headlined that your initiative offers therapy. So please delve deeper into this and explain to the listeners that psychosocial issues that you confront and this unsavory point that you made.
Okay, so firstly, that the 210 employed, that was just on the second last project that we did. so we're on to the next set of people. And some people, they stick with us, but like I said, empowerment, it's to help somebody grow. So they have to sometimes make the difficult decision. They're comfortable where they are with us, but it's also just for them to grow. So a lot of people, they go on and they find other jobs that can perhaps pay them more. And we are so happy. We are so grateful they are, granted these jobs, etc. Because it's tough to survive out there. With regards to some of the People's Post articles, you referred specifically about the one with regards to the art for mental health. This is what we do, and for impact. So when I say art for mental health, it sort of is our programs and our sessions are structured in such a way by myself in order to target these issues. So we provide a safe space for people to use art as a medium to express themselves and to heal at the same time. So expressing yourself via art is part and parcel of the session, but it also goes in depth. There's about 12 different sessions in our art for mental health and impact sector. And then what we do there is we start at a initiation point where everybody is joined, etc. And then we first wait till everyone feels comfortable with each other, and then we work our way through there using art in order for people to express themselves and, heal through the traumas that they were faced within their lives, and deal, because research has shown that that art actually does make a difference with regards to healing, and it alleviates the moods, the symptoms of depression, of anxiety. You just sort of feel better after you do it. And like I said, we deal with all forms of art, but you'd be surprised at the magic that happens and how you can use art as a medium, as a tool to enhance your life. So yeah.
I love this mention of healing through art, through these creative means, instead of, taking, unsavory methods to heal. You'd use art, and you'd use, the S.M.art Project as a therapy, or how you'd say an antidepressant meditation. And it's great, what you're doing to ignite that. We will be taking another short break, in which we will be continuing with this amazing talk with Zeenat on Liberation Education, Chapter 7.
Islam Live Radio is sponsored by Al-Muqeed Foundation South Africa. Would you like to donate cash or kind towards feeding our children and people? Contact the following number, +27 66 33 99 775. Al-Muqeed Foundation South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, serving the humanity.
ما يوقف، قولوا له ما يحط ستوب، قولوا له بعدني برقص، قولوا له بعده في يروح، بعده في يروح، بعده في يروح، قولوا له بعده في يروح، بعده في نار، بعده في فايا فايا فايا، قولوا له بعده في يروح، بعده في نفس، قولوا له بعده في يروح، يو 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 دي جي، قولوا له بعده في يروح. يا دوبني برا داخل مجرة، نرحل مرة واحدة فلواتها رح أعيش مليون مرة. أنا جيت في شغف أنا جيت في عطش أنا جيت أشرب هذا الكون جيبني يمين جيبني يسار جيب كيف ما تجيب راح أوقف كمل هذا اليوم بس سيطرش على الأحداث العالم هذا ضخم ولا بعرف أقعد ولا أحط إجر على إجر فأعطيني أنت موسيقتي أعطيني أنت منصتي وبسيطر على كل شبر فأنا داخل المعارك مرة جاهز ومرة خايف بس المؤكد إني ححارب مش رح أمشي للهدوء طريقة هادية قول دي جي ما يوقف قولوا له ما يحط ستوب قولوا له بعدني برقص قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في روح بعده في روح قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نار بعده في فايا 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 قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نفس قولوا له بعده في روح يو دي جي قولوا له بعده في روح هيا انتي يا حلوة هيا انتي يا بيوتيفول مالك وافي عن بعد مالك في القرنة لو صار اللي صار لو ضاع اللي قاع منا كلنا فإلي شرف انه انا وانتي نبدا نرجع نبض وحيا للدنيا فقول دي جي ما يوقف قولوا له ما يحط ستوب عندي معمي برقص قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في روح بعده في روح قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نار بعده في فايا 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 قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نفس قولوا له بعده في روح يو دي جي قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في روح بعده في روح قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نار بعده في فايا 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 قولوا له بعده في روح بعده في نفس قولوا له بعده في روح يو دي جي قولوا له بعده في روح
Greetings from Islam Alive Radio. The time now is 3:38 p.m. South African time. I'm Aisha Hamdulay and we're back on Liberation Education with Zeenat Isaacs. Before the break, we discussed how art can be empowering in the project and offers therapy to smarters and it helps change their lives through their own decisions. We spoke about the various, what Zeenat is most proud of with space and the motivation she had for S.M.art. And I'd like to also bring up the term artivism, this mix of activism and art in which you constantly, implement in your art as well, where you shared a post of the global impact for art, a climate change mural. So I want you to tell us why artivism is so important for today's conditions.
Okay, so why artivism? If you look at the word artivism, you explained it beautifully, Ms. Regal. It is with regards to activism and art. You're putting the two words together, activism and art. But also it talks about self-expression with regards to people's individual views on different topics. So if you want to make a stand, basically in layman's terms, you want to make a stand via your art. You can express yourself with your art, making a stand about different issues, example, political issues, or whichever issue you feel is, a burning issue to you. You can use art to express yourself in that way. Yeah, that post, it was when our co-founder, DearSA Young, he actually won the award for his mural, with it being voted the best mural for global impact, etc. It was with Greenpeace was involved and so on. And that's part and parcel of what we do as well. We actually make skateboards out of, plastic. basically scrap plastic, as people like to call it, or plastic you'd just like to throw away. We sort of press down and make skateboards with artistic designs. This is one of the many items we do make. And that is, part and parcel of saving our Earth, saving planet Earth. So that is something, and one of the topics we do in our workshops as well. We like to look at, our 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, and upcycle. So we upcycle various things as well. Artivism specifically, if you look at it in a whole, it's just, that is a topic like saving our planet Earth and climate change in general. If you look at the mural that was done, and you actually, it's currently at the Salt River Community House. If you take a good look at it, what feelings does it ignite within you? To our listeners, if you look at it, what would it ignite in you? What would you say? How does it make you feel? So that self-expression was globally recognized, and this is how we can make a difference with artivism. So to, get our voices heard is one thing, and then people learn via imagery. So they learn via imagery as well. They learn via other art forms as well. And to sort of leave a long-standing impact in someone's memory, artivism is a good way to do this as well. Yeah.
I like this, your point on upcycling, and it actually reminds me that you also won the Global Climate Change for upcycling. I remember the upcycling challenge. You taught schools how to save filter, and clean water for reuse and recycling. So I actually want you to mention that. I read it on an article by Genevieve Serra in 2022, I believe, and you carried out a workshop for 200 pupils at St. Paul's Primary School. We'd like to hear about these workshops, what happened, and your award for winning that upcycling challenge.
Sure. So, I didn't only work with 200 children. It was like over 1,000 actually. But I think that was one of the schools that had about over 200, 210, and then it became more nearer to the end. Like they sort of started adding all the grades in, which I had no problem with. I'm used to working with an entire school at the time. And it leaves, it's more people, more lives to touch, and leaving a long-standing impact with more people. That for me is great. The upcycling challenge, sure, it was a tough challenge for me. Again, so many great people that I was up against, and so many great people that I'm still connected with. So that was a beautiful challenge, just to see what everybody, there was somebody from Germany, and that was there as well, and what they're doing on that side, and how she was upcycling specifically with clothing. We at S.M.art, we all-round upcyclers, so we can take anything, basically upcycle it and make it something, that somebody wants to purchase, because like our team is filled with loads and loads of creatives, and these creatives can take anything and turn it into something beautiful. As ourselves as well, we are creatives, and so we're able to do that. There was a beautiful challenge, and it was really nice to win. With regards to the programs, it's still ongoing. We've recently ended off with 2 other schools. Besides leaving a mural at the school, it depends also on the program that we're doing. We leave a mural, but I've at that particular school, in that particular article, I think it was St. Paul's. You're talking about the St. Paul's one. What I did was I worked hand in hand with City of Cape Town. Sorry. And then what City of Cape Town wanted to implement, and what the school wanted to implement, and they called me on to work with the kids. And what we did was I incorporated all forms of art into this specific program. And then it was teaching them how to reuse, reduce, recycle, but in my innovative, artsy way. So I literally used, visual arts. I incorporated the upcycling. We were busy making eco bricks and molding it into sculptures. And then we had things that the school could basically reuse. And then at the end of it all, it was a concert at Sea Point Hall that I threw with them. And yeah, it was nice just to work with them and then to see that some of them were shy, they were having learning problems and so on. And the arts and merging that with, our 3 R's and putting that on stage, that was beautiful. So it ranged from, a fashion show in recyclable clothing with recyclable materials, to basically your dance, your song, all forms of art again onto the stage. So that's how that particular workshop ended. But like I said, it's ongoing, and we do that in many schools. So that was a schoolie buka, but I feel like it will be most impactful in like doing this. It's most impactful in the areas that are more so in need, and finding funding, or we have beautiful international funders that are very proud of what we do. But finding funding here in South Africa, or having to self-generate our funding, it's very hard at times. And so when we want to do a give back, and we note that the school is so much in need, and it sometimes takes an arm and a leg from us. So yeah, we always just hoping that we're able to continue to continuously do it in all of the schools that are in need. But I feel the biggest impact is left with those who are truly, truly in need. And these are communities where, the surrounding communities become dump sites. So if you look at it, when I'm done with the school, I know that waste surrounding the school, it's not there, it's better for the learners to work. That something better was created, whether it be a table and a chair from the waste, whereas you don't have a desk in your class. That for me, it's something beautiful. And then with regards to water, sure. If you look at it, not a lot of people, they complain about not having water. There's rivers, there's dams, especially in your rural areas, and they complain about water is dear, etc., etc. But they don't know the basic techniques of how filtrate systems and how to filter your water with rocks, stones, and it's also part and parcel. Again, where funding comes in and is needed, where certain chemical compounds is needed in order to add and filtrate water. But I teach them the basics of how to reuse your water for certain purposes, what water can be reused, and then how to make water drinkable if you don't have drinkable water. And this is more so impactful in your rural areas, not so much in your urban. Yeah.
This is all amazing, this level of impressive, but I want to unpack all of this, from the eco-brick, the sculptures, to the concerts, and turning waste from the dump sites into something more beautiful. You have these multiple levels of, like you said, this creative art, drama, dance, music, all of these for social change that your smartest can really delve into. And I want to also mention on this idea of drama and film. You mentioned production. You're a production manager. You on a film that stood against apartheid. One film. I want to ask what this film was about and what you did and how your political stance from this film.
Okay, so the film's name was Good Madam in English. That particular film that you're speaking about now, it's also translated as Mlungwam, and it's obviously stands firmly against apartheid, but in a different way. Our youth, they look back and they're like, is it the topic of apartheid again, miss? Like, sure, boring. Or, you know what I mean? They know, the new generation, they know, okay, apartheid happened. Now let's get over it. So to teach them and to truly teach them, we have to find new innovative ways of teaching them. And I felt that this film really did that. It's actually a horror film. And so it's intriguing. It captures, so instead of them watching a standard horror, whatever's streaming right now, having them watch this and learn something about apartheid and how it affected everyone, that is also something great. So yeah, it's just dear to my heart. I was also, besides being a production manager on that specific award-winning film, I was also the health worker, the resident health worker. So yeah, it just shows how health and, and the arts just merge. So yeah, it's just I was doing everyone's. It was done in COVID time, and I was doing everyone's checks, etc., seeing if they're healthy, okay. And then I was the standard paramedic on board for the entire set as well. So yeah, that's a little bit more about that.
It's incredible. I was actually going to ask you about your work through the arts sphere and the health sector, because not only were you part of Desmond Tutu Health Foundation, but the World Health Organization and the Human Sciences Research Council, the HSRC, and just all that together, as well as through the arts sphere. Like, some people might say those are completely separate fields, but with what you told me now, the production, as a film production and as the health sector, would you argue that they connect in some way?
I would, yes. Like, they are completely different, but yes, they do connect in some way. I made it connect with regards to S.M.art. Initially, like I said, we work in the most impoverished areas, and people don't have a generalized idea of, your basic health and issues, or how to deal with TB, for example. What to do when you're coughing, how to cover your cough, or what not to touch or to touch. Example, like with regards to dump sites and working in and around and near dump sites, there's open glass or needles, etc. So again, like I've previously mentioned, how would you deal with something like that? Imagery. So if you put up in a mural, for example, and the mural says don't touch, but it also beautifies the area in the same time, that teaches, you know what I mean? So, and also when you're writing your literature, etc., or you've let them write out certain things in an innovative way, and you print this and you sort of, tell it story-wise to a bunch of children, they sort of understand it better. They won't go back and do that. So that's how it interlinks. So many of our very first events that we had public health speakers that came on board, and they were sort of speaking. But then we also, had this interactive art workshops where we sort of made it clear to them what your basic health is, what to do and not to do. That's with regards to children, and then teaching adults about health via the arts. So that was how it interlinks. So yeah.
I love that, just this link of historical ties to the community in terms of, I guess you could say, like impoverished areas or underprivileged areas that are affected by the same things. And when it comes to art and how art can affect your health, can affect how your lifestyle of waste and reusing, recycling, the 3 R's like you mentioned. It's actually really incredible how you can, intersect link these together. And you also mentioned like non-fee schools, coming face to face with school programs that are non-fees and these socio-economic struggles.
Yes. A lot of fee non-fee schools, they can't afford, and it's not incorporated. If you look at other schools that are private schools, etc., art it's just a norm at these schools. All forms of art, etc. There's a lot of extramural programs. There's no after-school programs at many of the non-fee schools. There's nothing. They don't have that richness of doing that. So that for me also, it makes a huge difference. The artivism in itself also makes a huge difference. It's something we teach with all of our smarters. A lot of them have legally, and I'm gonna clearly mention legally, have put up some Free Palestine pieces, etc. And when I say legally, there is a bylaw, and you're not supposed to do it road facingly, especially in Cape Town specifically. And none of our smarters have done that. But what they have done is they've, expressed themselves, because watching this on media and feeling bad about the current situation in Palestine, what they've done is they've done it in a legal way to put it on people's homes or in their garages, or make a portrait of it, or make banners, etc. And it came out beautifully. So yeah. So we also teach the youth in schools to, express themselves. What's upsetting you right now? Now paint it. What's upsetting you right now? Dance about it. So these, for me, these are factors that's important and making a real impact. It's truly something important and dear to my heart.
I love that. Something I mentioned in last week's talk was this idea of this intersectionality of injustices and these larger systems of, climate change and sexism and classism and how those interlink. And I feel like what you do with your artism, and I know you also had a campaign against gender-based violence, and you shelter abused women, and you're also, on top of that, you're this won the Global Climate Change, and you do talks on the health sector. So you also are part of this injustice, intersectionality that you counter, and I find it very empowering. And one of the reasons why you are nominated for the DearSA Young Leader Awards for the sports, culture, and environment category. So I just wanted to ask you, what are your feelings about being nominated for this position?
Sure. For me, it was just beautiful to see myself nominated amongst so many South Africans that are doing great work. I felt honored at that time, because sometimes you do what you're doing, like I do what I do. There's not always a large paycheck involved, like my other work that brings in my daily bread. But what I'm doing passion-wise is not always, you don't always get recognized for it. Sometimes it becomes an expectation even in a particular community. But nonetheless, it's nice for somebody to, to mention or to get recognized a bit for it. So yeah, that did it. It made me feel quite good. So I felt good about being nominated.
And it's well deserved as well. Lastly, what words of encouragement do you have for the creative youth or those who wish to use their talents and skills to make a difference like you do?
So my words of encouragement, it's obviously going to be, you can do it. You look at me. I've done it. You can do it. If you hear me right now, if you see me, if you've met me, you know that I'm you. You are me. We are one. We are alike. There's nothing special about the next person compared to who you are. Absolutely anybody can achieve anything they want to achieve if you just put your mind to it. And not just your mind to it. It's not easy all of the time, but to work hard at something that you want to do. And it's not only it might look like glitz and glamour, but it's not that. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's getting your hands dirty, keeping your mind focused, and being driven every single day. Every single day is a day to do something. So if you have that mindset, then you will go far. You will make a difference if that is what you want to do. And yeah, so absolutely all of us can make a difference. And more so if we work together. That is the way, and we help the next person. That in turn leads to us all making a difference together. So yeah.
Shukran so much, Zeenat, for your words of encouragement and sharing your story and your journey with us. It's so empowering and so inspiring for us as the youth to actually learn from. And yes, to our listeners, like we said before, Zeenat is nominated for the DearSA Young Leader Awards. So all you have to do is search DearSA Young Leader, and you can vote now for Zeenat Isaacs for the Sport, Culture and Environment section as one of the nominees. It ends on the 30th of April 2024. But shukran, Zeenat, so much for you coming on here and sharing all your great advice and what you do in the S.M.art Project. What you do is such great work, and that incorporates creativity and social justice, and is exactly, what we encourage on the show.
Shukran to you for being such a great presenter. You are absolutely awesome. Shukran so much.
Okay, shukran Zeenat, and shukran to our listeners for popping in and listening in on Zeenat Isaacs. A reminder that today is also the annual JEQ Family Market from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at 13th Avenue, Skarpskraal. There will be a live performance from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and don't miss out. Shukran. I'm your host, Aisha Regal, for Liberation Education. Remember, you may check us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can like, share, and subscribe. For any queries, email us on islamalive.radio@gmail.com or send us a WhatsApp on +27 081 217 6012. That's +27 081 217 6012. Shukran for being tuned to Liberation Education. Chill, relax. We will be playing a few more tunes, so we will see you in a beat.
صباح الخير يا ولاد عمومنا، تفضلوا شرفونا. شو بتحب مضيفكم، دم عربي ولا دموع من عيوننا؟ بعتقد هيك تأملوا نستقبل من هيك تعقدوا لما تدركموا على غلطة من هيك لبسنا الكوفية البيضة والسودا، صاروا كلاب الزمان يلبسوها كموضة. مهما تفننوا فيها، مهما غيروا بلونها، كوفية عربية بتضل عربية. حطتنا بدنا اياه، ثقافتنا بدنا اياه، كرامتنا بدنا اياه، كل شي إلنا بدنا اياه. ما راح نسكت لن نسمح لن ليك لا بقلن يسرقوا شغلة مش إلهن ما خصن فيه. هلدونا بلتبس لبس هالأرض بكفيهنش طمعانين عالقدس قدس، اعرفوا كيف كونوا بشر قبل ما بتلبسوا كوفية. جينا نذكرن مين احنا وغصب عن ابوهم هي حطتنا. من هيك لبسنا الكوفية لأننا وطنية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، من هيك لبسنا الكوفية هويتنا الأساسية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، يلا علي الكوفية، علولي هالكوفية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، علوه هلا بلاد الشام. كوفية عربية بتضل عربية، ما في بعد مثل الشعب العربي. فرجوني أي أمي بالدنيا أكتر مؤثرة. الصورة واضحة، نحنا مهد الحضارة، تاريخنا وتراثنا الشاهد على وجودنا. من هيك لبست الثوب الفلسطيني، من حفا جنين جبل النار إلى رام الله. خليني نشوف الكوفية البيضة والحمرة، خلينا نعليها لفوق بالسما. أنا شاه دية العرب الثاني بقص غزل زاني بهز كلماتي حرب. سجل أنا شادية منصور والحطة هويتي. من يوم ما خلقت سيدي والشعب مسؤوليتي. لك أنا تربيت بين الغرب وبين الشرق، بين لغتين، بين بخيل بين فقير. شفت الحياة من الشقتين، أنا مثل الكوفية. كيف ما لبستوني وين ما شلحتوني، بضلني عاوصولي فلسطينية. من هيك لبسنا الكوفية لأننا وطنية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، من هيك لبسنا الكوفية هويتنا الأساسية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، يلا علي الكوفية، علولي هالكوفية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، علوه هلا بلاد الشام. كوفية عربية بتضل عربية. كوفية عربية، كوفية عربية، كوفية عربية، كوفية عربية. من هيك لبسنا الكوفية لأننا وطنية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، من هيك لبسنا الكوفية هويتنا الأساسية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، يلا علي الكوفية، علولي هالكوفية. الكوفية كوفية عربية، علوه هلا بلاد الشام. كوفية عربية بتضل عربية.
Some of y'all think it's a trend, a fashion statement. Disgustingly, I spit on the pavement. It's basic. Y'all know I bang for my flag. My bandana ain't no rag. The kafia ain't no scarf. It's a part of the movement. The symbolism is resistance. No coincidence that you can see the RBG in it. Que bonita bandera. Ain't it beautiful? I say it in Spanish. It's solidarity. The feelings is mutual. Meanwhile, that's M1 in Arabic. I'm pro-Palestinian. Does that make me a terrorist? You can catch me in in Gaza and Haifa or Ramallah, but I'm still just Mutulu Olubala. So when I rep with Shaja, we rhyme with our middle fingers up to the Zionists, cause we don't give its justice. So tie that thing around your head and ride, wave it in the air and let me know what side you on. Uhuru, yeah. The kafir is Arab. Yeah, it's M1 in solidarity. Feel me, Shaja. Do it. From the ghetto to Gaza, I keep it RBG up. Yeah. Bang for my flag.
مسيطرة همشيك مسطرة، هخليك لو شفت في شارع بنت تبص لورا. أيوة أنا مسيطرة يا حتة سكرة، طول ما انت معايا تمشي على هوايا أنا متكبرة. في حاجات حذرتك منها وعليك ازاي هتلمها، أنا قلبتي ما انتش قدها، أنا واحدة غيرة بدمها. استنى أنا لسه بكلمك، والإمتى أنا هفضل أفهمك، من يوم ما قابلتك قلتلك لو بصيت برا هزعلك، لو بصيت برا هزعلك. مسيطرة همشيك مسطرة، هخليك لو شفت في شارع بنت تبص لورا. أيوة أنا مسيطرة يا حتة سكرة، طول ما انت معايا تمشي على هوايا أنا متكبرة. مسيطرة همشيك مسطرة، هخليك لو شفت في شارع بنت تبص لورا. أيوة أنا مسيطرة يا حتة سكرة، طول ما انت معايا تمشي على هوايا أنا متكبرة.
حلمنا نهار ونهارنا عمل، نملك الخيار وخيارنا الأمل، وتهدينا الحياة أضواء في آخر النفق، تدعونا كي ننسى لمن عشنا، نستسلم لكن لا، ما دمنا أحياء نرزق، ما دام الأمل طريقا فسنحيا. بيننا صديق لا يعرف الكلل، مخلص رقيق إن قال فعل، روميو صديقي يحفظ عهد الأصدقاء، يعرف كيف يشابه الأيام. روميو صديقي علمنا معنى الوفاء، علمنا ألا نخشى الآلام.
I'm 18, the world is changing between children, God
it's raising. Good days only serve as relief again. Now I'm watching as they strip away all my people. It's an ongoing war, it's a scene I've played before. This feels different this time, this is real genocide, and I don't know what to do anymore. Just promise me one thing, our voices are heard now. We won't wait for moments where our land is burned down. I breathe from my culture, I scream from my blood now. From the ashes above ground, our city's no home now. There's children dying, there's homes being burned down. Brothers and sisters rethinking their lives now. My culture's like water, they think that we're alright. I'm not feeling human, there are no good nights. Palestine, Palestine. We'll be free, we'll be free. It's not who we are, it's who we choose to be. 2 points at which we let ourselves down. Kids are starving, what's the excuse now? Too regular, this pattern we've been taking shelter in, not changing new lives. They are just like me and not ready to die. Now I just wanna fight it, but I don't wanna paint the victim. Forget the fame, I would die for just the promise you'd listen. So just promise me one thing, our voices are heard now. We'll scream from the rooftops, we see your pain now. I breathe from my culture, I scream from my blood now. From the ashes above ground, our city's no home now. Tax dollars paid, where's that money going? To fund the soldiers, killing our children. My culture's like water, they think that we're alright. I'm not feeling human, there are no good nights. Palestine, Palestine. We're